So, what's up, guys? Hopefully, you all had a good day. I hope you've all been enjoying the warm, sunny weather that we've been experiencing over the last week or so. We've still got plenty more warm days to come up in a couple of weeks. Um, this warm weather is certainly gonna be in until next week. By the looks of it. To be honest with you, I don't mind this time of year. I do look forward to this time of year when it's like proper hot and sunny. It's sad obviously when the winter season comes to an end. 'Cause obviously, I love the winter. I love the winter months. You come in, you shut your door, you shut the world out for till the next day. And at that time of the year, it feels like the days feel like they're shorter as well. But this time of the year, days feel like they're longer. You know, that's the only thing I don't like about this time of year is because the fact that it gets dark slightly later kind of makes it feel like the days last. Days last longer. The days are longer than obviously they would be in it than they feel in the winter months. Um, then I hope tonight. I hope that I manage to actually fall asleep. I hope it doesn't take me too long to fall asleep last night. I don't know if this is the same for you guys, but when it's really, really hot, like it has been the last couple of nights, it does take me a little bit longer to fall asleep. When it's not as warm as it has been, it doesn't take me that long to fall asleep. I can normally fall asleep within about half an hour, 45 minutes, max. You know, like last night it did take me a good couple of hours to sort of get to sleep, and then I woke up again. I woke up again about 3 o'clock in the morning. Really needed a drink. So I went downstairs, got myself a drink, came back upstairs, went back to sleep, and then I woke up again a few hours later at 6. Sort of about 6, half 6. Again, really needing a drink, so I had another drink, went back to sleep. Um, So yeah, this heat, this room, even with I've got my window open right now, but even with the window open, it still feels really, really warm in here. And that's what I don't know why this room's like that. Even with the window open, this room is still like a sweat box. It's still like a flipping sauna in here. You know, but even though even though I've got the window open right now, this room still feels like an oven. And I'm like, how does this room still feel like an oven when I've got my flipping window open? Even that doesn't seem to be having any effect, as it still feels like an absolute sauna in here. It's right. I'm just sweating a bit now, actually, 'cause it's really warm in here. I'm not even joking. Um, I was saying to my mum earlier, it's a shame we don't live near the beach, because if we lived near the beach, that would be brilliant, because obviously we'd be able to make use of the beach every day, but unfortunately, that's not a luxury that we have. We don't get to make use of the beach because we don't live anywhere near a beach. Wouldn't mind living near Great Yarmouth, down near Great Yarmouth, or maybe down in Southend where there's a nice beach. Um, but uh, I think obviously, and I hope you guys obviously if you're traveling, on transport like the buses, trains, and stuff. I hope you're taking plenty of water with you, especially in this hot weather. You're gonna need it, especially when you're traveling on the London Underground. Jesus Christ! It's not so bad if you're traveling on like the District or the Circle or the Hammersmith and City Line or the Metropolitan Line, because those trains do have air conditioning on them. But the trains on the likes of the Central Line and Northern Line, etc., don't have air conditioning on them because they're very old trains. And when obviously you're underground, they are very, very, very hot. It was like the other couple of weeks back when when me and my dad went out to the Elvis show at the Dominion Theatre. We got back on the train to come back, and the whole time we were on the Central Line train coming back, I was sweating like a pig on heat. It was so hot on that train. It was unbelievable. And I just thought to myself, thank God, we don't have to travel on the London Underground every day, especially during the hot weather that we're experiencing now. That would make it even worse. You know, um, I mean, if you're having to travel on the London Underground in the middle of a bloody heat wave, it would be a night. It's no wonder people faint on the trains in this weather. Especially being as hot as it is on the London Underground network. Um, but I mean, obviously, with the DLR again, it's not too bad. I mean, at least with the DLI, you can open the windows on the DLI. You can't really do that on the London Underground trains. Which is a bit of a. I mean, the only windows that you can actually open on those trains are the windows on the connecting doors. You can kind of open those and everything. If you need a bit of air, not that you get much air underground. Um, but as I said, I hope you guys are staying safe in this weather, and I hope you guys are applying sunscreen. The reason I say that is because I made a boo boo the other day. I went out to my nan's the other day, and I was sitting out in the garden in the afternoon, and the top of my legs got quite badly sunburned. The top of my legs burned up to my knees, but got really was very very sore. I mean, they're not too bad now, but they were very sore because obviously of sunburn and everything. Um, I mean, I tend to get quite badly sunburn on my neck as well, especially if I'm not wearing a t-shirt like I am now. If I was to walk about out in the sun with no t-shirt on, my neck would get really badly sunburned, and I have done it. That has happened before. I remember we went out to the beach one year, and it was really really hot. I hadn't had any sunscreen on, and we got home, and the back of my neck, like the top of my back and back of my neck, red raw. Because I've been so badly sunburned. And I was in a lot of pain. I can remember I was in a lot of pain. As well. The sunburns can be quite painful. They can make you feel quite sore. To be fair, so you got to be careful. Um, and in this like a sort of hot weather that we're getting right now, you are gonna get sunburnt if you're not wearing sunscreen. It is one of those things. But as I said, hopefully tonight I'll be able to fall asleep a bit. It won't take me too long to fall asleep. I don't know. It just tends to take me a bit longer to fall asleep during the hot weather. Obviously the last couple of nights it has been very hot. I mean, I've literally just been sleeping in my pants. I've not been sleeping with like a t-shirt on or anything. I've just been sleeping in my pants as it's just been so hot. You know, um, although it is nice to be able to sort of walk around in your shorts and t-shirt and not have to walk into your shorts and t-shirts and things like that, and not have to walk around in obviously jumpers and big pattern and obviously big coats and everything. It makes a nice change. I mean, obviously, it is nice when we get this hot weather, and you have to make the most of it while it lasts. We don't know. Obviously, maybe after next week, temperatures might sort of dip down again, a little bit. But um, I mean, I hope the temperatures do start to cool down a little bit soon. It does me in after all. I've been drinking I've been drinking so much over the last couple of days. That's all you do. All you want to do in this weather is drink, 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 drink. Because if you don't drink in this weather, you're gonna be feeling severely fucking dehydrated. So it's probably best that you do drink plenty in this flipping hot weather. Otherwise you will faint. I remember back when I was in school. We were doing an outdoor PE lesson in the park one day, and this was a Friday. I went home on the Friday afternoon, felt absolutely, and I went about the rest of my lessons during the day. I felt fine. Went home in the afternoon, on the Friday afternoon, still felt absolutely fine. Woke up on the Saturday morning, I couldn't get off the sofa. The next day, I had really, really bad heat stroke on the Saturday. I couldn't get off the sofa. I was on the sofa all day. I think I even at one point went up and actually went to sleep on my mum's bed. Um, I felt so ill that day with the heat stroke. Um, I think a big part of that problem with that was that I hadn't really drunk that much the day before. I'd done all of I've been out in that sun doing the outdoor PE lesson. I hadn't really drunk that much during the day. That's probably what attributed to it. Probably not really a smart idea to be doing, a massive PE lesson in, 30 odd degree heat, but there you go. Um, zero sugar. Um, to be honest, I've been going through like houses rent by the gallon lately. So that's what I've been doing, the last few days, just drink, 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 drink. So that's what I feel like doing. Um, and that was what obviously that's what happened. Like, last night I woke up about 3 o'clock in the morning. I was really needing a drink, and I don't know what. And that's just the thing. Like during the day, when it's cooler, you know, I don't really tend to feel that thirsty. But last night, 3 o'clock in the morning, I felt really, really thirsty, and I was like, "This, I've got to go up and I've got to get up and get a drink." I couldn't lay there, feeling as thirsty as I was. I was trying to ignore, the feeling that I needed a drink, but I couldn't ignore it. So I went downstairs and got myself a drink. And brought it upstairs with me. And I went back to sleep and I woke up again 3 hours later feeling thirsty again. Um, so I had to go down and get another drink. So I had to have another drink and then try and get back to sleep again for another few hours. Which I did. And I woke up about 9:30 this morning. Well, obviously I felt quite tired when I woke up. I mean, it's just annoying, like the fact that when as warm as it is, it takes me longer to get to sleep. And I feel like if it wasn't so hot in here either, I would find it easier to get to sleep. But I think that's what it is. Like, when it's really hot, it gets so hot in here. That's why it takes me longer to get to sleep, like, because it's so hot in here. Um, it does get, even during the day, it get very, very hot in here, not just at night. Like, during the day as well, it gets absolutely sweltering in here. And I don't know why, like, my room's like that, my mum's room gets like that as well. Her room gets like a sweat box. I mean, my sister's room isn't too bad. It's always quite hot in there. I don't know why. But this side of the house, where my room is and my mum's room is, they get like absolute sweat boxes. Even with our windows open, it still feels, it still feels really hot. As I said, I've got my window open now, and it still feels like an absolute sauna in here. That's not even an exaggeration. Even with my window open right now, it still feels like a fucking oven in here, to be honest. Um, it is hot in here. Even with my window open. So yeah, as I said, make sure you stay safe during this during this warm weather. Make sure you don't faint. Wouldn't be a good idea. Would be a good idea to make sure you're drinking plenty. Especially if you're traveling on like London Underground and everything. Probably always best to take a few bottles, maybe upload a few bottles of water with you. Make sure you're keeping yourself hydrated and everything. And yeah, have an awesome week. There will be plenty more videos for you guys this week. I'll see you for another video tomorrow. Bye bye.